Hey everybody, Sean Bukowski here. Hope you're having a great week in this beautiful Texas weather. It's only 1,000 degrees today for the 10th straight day, so that's nice. Um, this week we're going to talk about purchase agreements for real estate, commercial real estate, and specifically one of the clauses. So commercial real estate agreements, if you or purchase agreements, if you've read through them, they're long and they're in depth, and there's a reason for that because there's a lot of things that can come up, and there's a lot of ways we need to protect our clients from to make sure their interests are fully protected. And one of the ways we do that is through a waiver of reliance clause. That's what we kind of want to talk about today. The waiver of reliance clause, as you may know, is the clauses that basically say, all right, the buyer is buying this as is. He's not relying on information from the seller. He or she did his own due diligence, and again, you're not relying on anything. And as a result, you can't really come back and say, oh, you didn't tell me that there was, something wrong with the property. Or you should have done your own due diligence for the property before you figure out whether you want to buy it or not. And so that's a pretty useful tool, but it can go even farther in some scenarios. And that's a scenario where those waiver of reliance clauses are actually potentially able to waive even fraud or fraudulent inducement claims that the buyer could have against the seller. And how that works is to have fraud or fraudulent inducement, there has to be reliance upon something that the seller said. Well, if you have a waiver of reliance clause, then the buyer has admitted that they're waiving that reliance, and as a result, that can defeat the fraud or fraudulent inducement claim. Now, there's a strict sort of Texas Supreme Court test that has to follow to analyze whether the waiver of reliance clause was sufficient to waive fraud or fraudulent inducement. But it is there, and it's really important to know whether you're the buyer or the seller of purchase agreement, how that clause is written, how that waiver of reliance clause is written, and what it actually does. Because you could be, as I say, you could be signing away pretty much all your claims against the seller, including any fraud or fraudulent inducement claims. Hope you enjoy this. If you do, please subscribe to our blog, our podcast, our YouTube channel, everything we got. I hope you enjoy it. Have a great day.